Trump Christmas in America, meet federal judge temporary restraining order. Forget rock, paper, scissor. This injunction blocks Donald Trump's State Department and his administration from pro-hate speech policies, at least as it relates to Imran Ahmed, who runs an organization, get this, who runs an organization called the Center for Countering Digital Hate, the CCDH. So Donald Trump and his administration and State Department, including Sarah Rogers, the Undersecretary of State, are pro-hate speech. Get that? As soon as the European Commission issued a $140 million fine against Elon Musk's X, which has been the center of campaigns by the CCDH to stop misinformation, stop disinformation, whether it relates to and racist, anti-Semitic, misogynistic, bigoted messaging. As soon as the European Commission did the right thing under their laws, because they don't have the First Amendment the way we do, to deplatform these people and censor these people and sanction Elon Musk, the Trump administration ran to Musk's rescue within days, as the complaint in federal court outlined. And they said, oh, EU, we got to attack the EU. So they particularly attack the Starmer government in the UK, its chief of staff, Morgan McSweeney, who's close to Imran Ahmed, who lives in Washington, D.C. with his U.S. wife and children, and now he's getting deported. Not so fast, says Judge Broderick. Welcome to Christmas in America, Trump style and temporary restraining orders. See, we can't sleep, we can't rest during the holidays, and therefore you can't either. I'm Michael Popok, you're on the MeidasTouch Network. Let's talk about this brand new suit that had to be filed on Christmas Eve, of all things. It's up on Legal AF Substack for you to read as well. So you might have, just to connect the dots, early December, European Commission, $140 million sanction against Elon Musk for misinformation, racist, misogynistic, anti-Semitic information on X, violating European Union laws. Trump fires back, and he decides besides his mean tweets, he decides to have his State Department issue a ruling against 5 different people who are considered to be anti-hate speech activists, including a former EU Commissioner, Thierry Breton, Imran Ahmed, who founded CCDH, Josephine Ballon and Anna-Lena von Hodenberg from Germany, who run a group called Hate Aid, and Claire Melford, who runs an organization called Global Disinformation Index. Sounds like things we need in our life not to be sanctioned. And they canceled the visas for all of these people. Now, Imran Ahmed happens to live in DC, so therefore they start trolling him with sanctioned social media posts by a trolling head of or undersecretary of state in Sarah Rogers. Sarah Rogers, who dons a Santa hat in order to troll the Starmer government about the sanctions against Ahmad. We'll put that up on the screen. And here is a clip of Sarah Rogers going after these people, including the Starmer government. Let's play the clip.
It's misguided and unfortunate to apply that law in Britain, but applying that law extraterritorially, which means applying it to speech that has nothing to do with Britain, does not occur in Britain, is on American platforms by American users on American political issues, purporting to censor Americans in America is a deal breaker. It is a non-starter. It is a red line. And that's what Ofcom has tried to do with the Online Safety Act, and that's one reason the American government is concerned.
Okay, but will your government then take legal action against Ofcom if they try and overreach in the way you've described?
Well, there's already formal action proposed. There is a bill before the House called the Granite Act that would amend an existing statute to clarify that as a matter of American public policy, any penalties imposed by Ofcom are unenforceable against American companies. So our legislature will likely consider that, and will certainly consider other options if indeed the British government insists upon trying to nullify the First Amendment on American soil with respect to American companies.
Now we got the lawsuit that has to get filed, so he can't spend time with his family, Imran Ahmed. He's got to instead file a complaint to save himself from being deported on Christmas Eve. Now, he got a great lawyer, Robbie Kaplan. Roberta Kaplan has been with Legal AF from the beginning. She represents E. Jean Carroll in the cases against Donald Trump. She's gone up against Donald Trump a dozen times. She's gone up against hate groups successfully, including in Charlottesville, and won. She right lawyer for the job. And I want to shine a spotlight on lawyers that do the right thing. There's so many that are bending the knee or abdicating their responsibilities as officers of the court, but not Robbie Kaplan. And at the right time, probably not at this moment, we'll get Robbie Kaplan on Legal AF to brief our audience. Judge Broderick issues a temporary restraining order off this filing. He's calling everybody together on the 29th of December to consider whether to dissolve the temporary restraining order on full briefing or to extend it. Look for him to extend it. An Obama appointee, the right person in the job, 12 years in the U.S. Department of Justice, ran the violent gangs prosecution unit. He knows crime when he sees it. Now, Elon Musk has gone after Imran Ahmed before. You may recall that in 2024, I did reporting about a lawsuit that Musk brought against the same organization in federal court in San Francisco, and he was laughed out of the courtroom, almost literally, by senior judge Charles Breyer, who said it was the most vapid filing, that's not a good thing, legal filing he's ever seen in his entire career, and he's been on the bench for 40 years, and the brother of former Supreme Court Justice Stephen Breyer. And it was also the one that's been ruling against the Trump administration in the National Guard cases. Brings us fast forward to this. So early December, fine. Musk goes crazy. Trump goes crazy. They instruct Marco Rubio to start issuing sanctions against disinformation advocates, anti-hate speech advocates. This is the side the government is on, by the way, pro-hate speech. And it then leads to the attempt to deport a green card holder in Imran Ahmed. Let me just give a quick tutorial on the First Amendment. You have a First Amendment right in this country to speak out and speak your mind with some limits, whether you're a U.S. citizen, a green card holder, TPS, illegal immigrant, migrant, tourist. You have a First Amendment right on U.S. soil. It's not just a privilege of Americans to have the First Amendment. It's not how the First Amendment works. So Imran Ahmed has a First Amendment right. Before I get to the complaint, let me play you a clip of Imran Ahmed so you know who I'm talking about the work of the CCDH. Let's play a clip.
The truth is that we're very bad at dealing with information disorder. It's taken until 2023, 20 years into the social media revolution, for us to really start to get to grips with imposing some order, some transparency, and some costs on these companies for the harms they create. First of all, the platforms are actually getting worse. They've been shedding trust and safety staff. They've been degrading their capacity. Elon Musk in particular has made it a virtue to have done so. The second thing is that bad actors are getting more sophisticated every day. They're learning what works, what doesn't, and refining their tactics. But here come the cavalry to the rescue. We've got the Digital Services Act. We've got the Online Safety Bill in the UK. Other legislations around the world are looking to legislate and to give themselves powers. And what we are now in is in an age in which, as platforms seek to reduce their cost base and reduce the safety of their platforms, we finally have tools available to governments, to lawmakers, to do something about it. And we really need them to start using them.
Now, here's what the complaint has to say in its filing. On December 23rd, 2025, Christmas Eve, over to page 2, while the court was closed for the holiday, the Trump administration announced that it would move to deport Imran Ahmed, an advocate for human rights and civil liberties online, who has lived and worked here in D.C. for 5 years with his American wife and American child. Rather than disguise his retaliatory motive, the federal government was clear that Mr. Ahmed is being sanctioned. This is Sarah Rogers' words, sanctioned as punishment for his research and public reporting, especially against Elon Musk's company. Mr. Ahmed is a lawful permanent resident, lives in the United States, meaning he's a green card holder. We already saw Sarah Rogers posting that her agency had sanctioned Imran Ahmed for his work with the CCDH. You saw the clip earlier in this video. Paragraph 4, the government's shocking actions against Mr. Ahmed form part of a larger pattern of attempted repression of constitutionally protected speech In case after case, the federal government has used its immigration enforcement power as a bludgeon to silence voices and prevent disfavored speech. They'd do it to us too if they could. Trust me. Then if you go to page 15, you'll see or page 16. Yep, there's the now infamous Sarah Rogers, who I want to remind the Undersecretary of State. And why do they all look like this, by the way? You know what I mean. You don't have immunity. You don't have criminal immunity from prosecution. Only the president does. Although you act like you do. As soon as the action against Imran Ahmed and the others, Elon Musk posts, "This is so great." Yeah, I'm sure. And then she trolls our ally in the UK, the Starmer government, because in the Starmer government, the chief of staff used to be on the board of the Center to Combat or Counter Digital Hate, CCDH. Morgan McSweeney was on the board, is now the chief of staff for the Starmer government, the prime minister. But we troll. Merry Christmas, McSweeney. I thought this was like a long lost episode of that great show, The Diplomat, on Netflix. We're going after our own allies now? So crazy. And so they're seeking, and they got their injunction already because they filed a motion for temporary restraining order. I'll put the brief and the complaint up in Legal AF Substack. They want it because of violation of the First Amendment, viewpoint-based discrimination, the non-delegation clause, the violations of the Administrative Procedures Act, Fifth Amendment privilege being violated because they're taking away his visa, his green card without due process, the arbitrary nature of it. And Judge Broderick agreed. And he's pulling everybody together to talk about this on the 29th of December. But thank God we got lawyers out there like Robbie Kaplan. I don't know this as an inside information fact, but there's a reason that they decided to file this in New York near where Robbie's office is, and file it in New York they did. He left his home in Washington to be in New York to file this case on Christmas Eve, right? And to get a judge's attention, shout out to the judge, got to show love there too, on Christmas Day to issue this order. There's a strategic reason they had Mr. Ahmed come up from DC to New York, near where his lawyer is, to file that case in New York. Maybe one day I'll get Robbie Kaplan, who will join us on Legal AF, I'm sure, to talk to our audience about that. But I wanted to bring this to your attention. Thanks for being here on MeidasTouch. We got a great 2026 prepared for you. Some amazing planning things that we're going to do to expand Legal AF with our MeidasTouch connection here. And I'm really glad you're here for it. In the meantime, come over to Legal AF YouTube channel, hit the free subscribe button. The link is in the notes, and join our Legal AF Substack. I'm running a sale, paid membership annual, 30% off from now till December 31st. It drops it down to about $6 a month. Join us there for some content you're not going to find anywhere else at the intersection of law and politics. Till my next report, I'm Michael Popok. Can't get your fill of Legal AF? Me neither. That's why we formed the Legal AF Substack. Every time we mention something in a hot take, whether it's a court filing or a oral argument, come over to the Substack. You'll find the court filing and the oral argument there, including a daily roundup that I do called, wait for it, Morning AF. What else? All the other contributors from Legal AF are there as well. We got some new reporting. We got interviews. We got ad-free versions of the podcast and hot takes. Where? Legal AF on Substack. Come over now to free subscribe.